Malacañang sees no major change in the bilateral relations between Manila and Washington, even with a new leader. What can we expect under a Biden administration? Let's get the views now of former ambassador to the US, Jose Cuisia Jr. Ambassador, thank you so much for joining us. We just saw Donald Trump leaving the White House for the final time. And of course, Joe Biden in several hours is soon to be America's 46th president. What will his presidency mean for Filipino immigrants and Filipinos who want to migrate and work in America?
Well, in terms of the immigrants who are waiting for their documents, I'm referring to the Dreamers who are the part of this DACA program, the Deferred Action on Childhood Arrivals. They will definitely get a more favorable treatment under the Biden administration. There are about maybe 20 to 30,000 of these young Filipino Americans. And I am optimistic that the Biden administration will act on this program favorably, whereas Trump was trying to end this program.
Okay. Let's go
in terms of...
Yeah. So, Ambassador, another touchy issue during the time of outgoing President Donald Trump and incumbent President Rodrigo Duterte has been the Visiting Forces Agreement. When President Biden takes over, what is likely to happen to the VFA? Could it be extended?
I think the VFA is important to both countries. Both the US and the Philippines benefit from this VFA. And I'm sure that President Biden would like to continue the VFA. But as you recall, President Duterte threatened that if there are no vaccines from Pfizer, that he will terminate the VFA, which I believe will be detrimental to the Philippines. We are also hopeful that the US will clarify certain provisions in the Mutual Defense Treaty that will ensure that it becomes a deterrent against aggressive actions of countries that may have plans to expand their territory beyond their own shores.
What about in terms of business and trade between the United States and the Philippines? Are we likely to see more U.S. companies opening up new doors in the country as the Biden administration takes over?
Yeah, the Biden administration believes in multilateral trade. So the first action will be to get back the U.S. into the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP. If that happens, then there will be better prospects for the Philippines to be part of an ASEAN-US free trade agreement. So I think it will be more favorable looking ahead for Philippine companies. And I'm sure also on the other way around, US companies will look at the Philippines more favorably.
Ambassador, the Democrats are known to be more forceful on human rights than the Republicans. Could this be a touchy and sensitive issue between President Biden and President Duterte?
Yes, because a number of Democratic senators have actually raised the issue of human rights violations in the Philippines. And that has been a very sensitive chord as far as President Duterte is concerned. You will recall that he came up with a very strong statement against President Obama. And I'm sure that President Biden will keep that in mind.
As for the maritime territorial dispute between Beijing and Manila in the West Philippine Sea, how do you think will Biden engage China? And do you think the United States will interfere during his term?
I think President Biden will have bipartisan support in terms of ensuring that not just China, but other countries would respect the international law, particularly UNCLOS, which covers both South China Sea and the East China Sea.
And Ambassador, what about the COVID-19 response? I mean, at the forefront right now and in many headlines is the Sinovac vaccine of China. But we are also basically procuring and ordering Pfizer and Moderna, which are vaccines made in the United States. Could we see an acceleration of these orders for the Philippines during the Biden administration?
I am optimistic that the Biden administration will try to assist the Philippine government, to get these vaccines as early as possible. Although we have to bear in mind that they will give first priority to their own needs in the U.S.
We'll have to leave it there. Former Philippine Ambassador to the United States, Jose Cuisia Jr., thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word.